Good afternoon. We're coming on the air as there is a procession to move the body of a fallen state trooper from the medical examiner's office in Fort Pierce to a funeral home in Port St. Lucie. Trooper Zachary Fink died in a crash Friday when Florida Highway Patrol says he was trying to stop a reckless driver on I-95. Terry Parker is live right outside the medical examiner's office there in Fort Pierce. Terry, what can you tell us?
I can tell you that right now the various law enforcement officers, of which there are dozens, are lining up. They're getting ready for the ceremonial transfer of the late Trooper Fink's body to a funeral home in Port St. Lucie. There are dozens of them here to pay him this respect. We'd like to show you, however, the route that they are going to take because it is quite a way and motorists do need to be advised that this ceremony obviously will be going slowly. It starts here on South 35th Street in Fort Pierce. The procession will travel west via Okeechobee Road to Florida's Turnpike and then south to Southwest Port St. Lucie Boulevard. The route will continue west on Southwest Port St. Lucie Boulevard to Southwest Gatlin Boulevard. It will then travel on Southwest Gatlin Boulevard under Interstate 95 before ending at Aycock at Tradition and the 1200 block of Tradition Parkway. And this is taking Trooper Zachary Fink's body here from the medical examiner's office where he was taken right after that fatal crash that happened early in the hours of Friday morning. As we know, Trooper Fink, just 26 years old, was pursuing an erratic driver, and he actually got into a crash when he was pursuing that driver on I-95, killing both himself and a semi-truck driver. Okay, you can see right now that the procession is starting. We're starting out with FHP. Trooper Fink had not been an FHP trooper for very long, but he loved his job, and he leaves behind his parents and a fiance. Not only are the FHP fellow troopers here, but detectives, street patrol, all types of law enforcement from every agency here on the Treasure Coast is taking part in this ceremonial procession. Lights and sirens are on. We're going to be seeing the motorcycle corps shortly as they're starting to get onto their bikes. And finally, toward the end, we will see the hearse containing Zachary Fink's body. Quite a moving sight here at the medical examiner's office. Paying respect to the late Trooper Zachary Fink, killed in the line of duty early Friday morning on I-95. And you can see far in the distance the hearse that is going to transport his body. I'm not sure if his parents are here for this ceremonial procession, but it will end up at the Aycock Tradition Funeral Home in Port St. Lucie.
And Terry, I wanted to ask you about that. As we've seen these processions play out, unfortunately, this is a part of the profession, the law enforcement profession. But when things like this happen, we do see a lot of support come out there. You did mention the various law enforcement agencies. Can you sort of describe the scene? Are there people standing around, maybe showing support? We see as well with these processions, usually there's an American flag draped in the background or right at the start. Do you see that as well? Can you explain to us sort of the mood and what people are around there?
Right. You can see the flag now, Stephen. It is lifted on two cranes. The procession goes under that. This road is almost closed off because of the procession, so there are not bystanders lining the road as you might see, say, the parade route. But there in the distance, past a very large American flag, you can see some people standing there holding flags. I think there's some VA veterans groups who are here. And of course, anybody who sees this traveling is going to know what's happening and recognize, the somber reality of having someone being taken away from life, from their job, from their friends, and suddenly they're part of this memorial, and it's something that every officer especially who dies in the line of duty, deserves, Stephen.
Yeah, Terry, right now we were just looking at it looked like some employees who worked around there holding those American flags. We're also seeing the amount of patrol cars that have their lights on. I want to ask you too about
You can go around back.
the line. It looked like a line of cars went out initially, but it seems as though the hearse is still there. Can you get a gist of just how long this procession will be? I see some motorcycles there. I don't know if you're able to tell from your vantage point, but just how many people will be following along with that hearse? Can you tell or no?
What I can tell is that the hearse has been there for a while. The motorcycle officers have not yet pulled out, and I don't know if there are more cars behind the motorcycles. Now you can hear the engines revving. They are going to start again. If they're lined up, Stephen, behind, it's hard for me to tell from this vantage point. If you look at the parking lot, there's lots of vehicles with their blue lights flashing. Dozens.
Yeah,
from all different agencies.
From this sense of seeing it just on TV, you get the sense of just the amount of support that is there. And then again, you're seeing the motorcycles come by right now. Can you just explain what it is like being there in this moment and seeing this?
It's very moving, Stephen. It's hard to describe. I would just say you feel a sense of sadness and solidarity. You see many of the motorcycle officers just raise their fists. They're getting ready to take part in this. Each one of them, of course, has a very dangerous job. They're riding some of the most dangerous vehicles that are in existence up and down busy Florida highways every single day, trying to keep those highways safe for all of us, which is exactly what Trooper Fink was doing, trying to keep us safe. He was chasing a felon, Michael Addison, age 30, from Fort Lauderdale, had already been stopped by one St. Lucie County deputy, but he eluded her and kept on driving twice the speed. And there they go, the motorcycle corps, state troopers, local police officers, sheriffs.
And as this procession gets going, I do want to remind our viewers just exactly where this will be going. They're taking Okeechobee Road down to the Florida Turnpike, which will then go further south to the Aycock Funeral Home in Port St. Lucie. Again, you're getting a look right now at just the details of where this is going. We did get an update from St. Lucie County telling us that there will be some blockages and some delays as well as this procession does take place. It's going from Virginia Avenue down to Tradition Parkway and Interstate I-95. So they're asking if drivers to take alternate routes, but in the meantime, just taking this in, you really get the sense of, again, the support and just how much of a team that law enforcement is when something like this happens to one of their own. Zachary Fink, if you do not know, was killed as he was responding to a reckless driver on I-95 Friday morning, early in the morning. So you can imagine it was dark out there, not too many cars out there on the road, but you're watching that hearse as it is coming down. Fink was hit when he was responding to that reckless driver by a semi-truck. He died when he was in his patrol car. The semi-truck driver also passed away. So what you're seeing here is his body inside of that hearse. We saw earlier some sheriff's deputies and FHP troopers lifting their hands in salute. And Terry Parker is right there as this goes by. And Terry, we're seeing it slowly come by you right now.
Right, that black Cadillac hearse with one driver, someone else is also in the passenger seat, closely flanked by 4 FHP Highway Patrol troopers on motorcycles, and then we have the troopers in their SUVs coming behind. And they're all going to go under that flag, which symbolizes what people who decide to go into these type of careers, protecting the rest of us, are doing it for everyone who lives here and belongs here and loves our country. And it's times like this, I think, Stephen, when you really feel so much gratitude for the jobs they do and how dangerous they are. We all know how dangerous these South Florida highways can be. There are accidents every day, far too many fatalities, and in this case, a good guy was tragically killed, as was the driver of that semi truck that hit him. So we still don't know his identity, but that's equally sad that someone else, and it's all because one person was driving erratically and did this horrible U-turn right in the middle of I-95 going north on the southbound lanes. Trooper Fink tried to follow him to warn approaching motorists and also to get him off the road, but unfortunately it just resulted in a tragedy.
Yes,
okay, Stephen, now you can see so many more cars are joining this procession. Yes. And the parking lot is still filled up, so they are coming steadily. This is quite a long procession. And I said earlier dozens of cars, now I'm going to say scores because there are just so many taking part in this.
Yes, and again, they plan to take Okeechobee Road down to the Florida Turnpike, going further south to the Aycock Funeral Home. And as you see there, the hearse is there, but also to the side, we're seeing those people hold those American flags. You can imagine they're most likely just reflecting on what has happened in their own community. We know Trooper Fink, he was a member of the Port St. Lucie community there. So this affects so many people. It affects the state, people who have law enforcement, who see them every day, law enforcement and their family. So we know Zachary Fink wanted to be a trooper, wanted to help out the community, wanted to be in law enforcement since being a little boy. The age of 6 is what we were told, when his fellow colonel got up and talked about how he came from the Orlando area here. This was a passion of his. We've spoken to Fink's friends in our community who have said the same thing. He was just an easygoing guy, easy to talk to. One person we talked to who worked at Publix had a hope and dream of being a 911 dispatcher. Fink helped them achieve that, or get to that, hopefully, as well. So what you're looking at right here, again, is just a symbolization of this team that's really supporting this law enforcement family. Officer Fink, as his body is taken down, again, Okeechobee Road down to the Florida Turnpike and further south to Port St. Lucie to the Aycock Funeral Home. If we do want to take now our traffic maps just to show what is happening on our live drive, if you want to see this right now, what we know is that there will be backups along Okeechobee Road, as we mentioned, Southwest Port St. Lucie Boulevard and Southwest Gatlin Boulevard. What you're looking at there is some traffic backed up, but as we take a further look out here, this is the route that it is expected to take. All looking green right now on our traffic maps, but you can expect that backup. Again, we did get an update from St. Lucie County telling us that those backups will happen. So this is around the hour. We won't see too much traffic, but as we zoom in a little further here, that area depicting where it will go. Looking pretty good for now, but again, if you're traveling in that area, you might want to take an alternate route or let other people know as well, where you let them know that they will be in a backup if they're in that area. Okay, taking a live look right now, this is in Fort Pierce at the medical examiner's office. You can see the last few of the troopers are coming out on their bikes here. So as we said earlier, a very long procession that is taking place. So be aware of traffic backups. And what we're going to do is we're going to now continue following this. As this leaves the area, they're headed to the Aycock Funeral Home, and we were going to cut back into programming when they get closer there. Our reporter Jay Jarvis is in that area, so our thanks to our Terry Parker who walked us through that, again, providing the emotion to this. It's a very human thing, very raw thing for a lot of people, including law enforcement officers. So we'll get back to that when they arrive in Port St. Lucie. For now, we'll bring you back to programming.